Welcome back, dear adventurers and dreamers, to another enchanting chapter of 9 Lives, a Felidian Tale. I'm your host, Owen, and it's a pleasure to have you join us once again as we journey through the magical world of Felidia. Before we dive into tonight's chapter, I'd like to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your continued support and enthusiasm. Your love for these tales is what keeps the magic alive and allows us to share this cozy corner of storytelling with you. As always, remember that this podcast is meant to be a soothing bedtime experience. So find a warm, comfortable spot, snuggle up, and let the gentle rhythm of our story guide you towards a peaceful slumber. In tonight's chapter, we will accompany Finn as he meets his new companions and takes the next steps on his journey. Along the way, he'll discover new friendships, receive gifts that will aid him in the challenges ahead, and begin to unlock the potential that lies within him. The road ahead is long and winding, filled with the wonders and mysteries of Felidia. But with each step, Finn grows closer to understanding his place in this world, and to discovering the adventure that awaits him. Whether you're a curious kitten or a seasoned adventurer, there's something in this tale for everyone. So close your eyes, open your imagination, and let's embark on tonight's adventure. And remember, in Felidia, every life is an adventure, and you have 9 of them to explore. Now, let's begin Chapter 4, New Companions. The morning sun cast a golden hue over Moufford as Finn stirred from his sleep, the soft glow filtering through the wooden shutters of his room at the Adventurers Guild. The familiar scent of the sea mixed with the earthy aroma of fish stew drifting up from the kitchens below. Finn stretched, feeling his new feline muscles respond in ways that still fascinated him. Today was the day he would meet his new companions and set off on his first real adventure in Felidia. He took a moment to sit at the edge of his bed, letting the quiet of the morning settle over him like a comforting blanket. The wooden floorboards creaked softly under his paws, the sounds of the guild beginning to stir with the first light of day. Finn had only been in Felidia for a short time, but already this strange, magical world was beginning to feel like home. He thought back to his first days here, the confusion and fear he had felt, and marveled at how much had changed. Now he was part of something, a guild, a community, and he was about to embark on his first real journey as an adventurer. After washing up and dressing in the simple tunic and trousers he had been given by the guild, Finn made his way downstairs to the dining hall. The smell of breakfast, a hearty stew made from fish, potatoes, and fresh herbs, filled the air, making his stomach rumble in anticipation. He greeted the other guild members as he passed, receiving nods and smiles in return. It was a friendly, welcoming place, filled with the sounds of laughter, the clinking of spoons against bowls, and the occasional clatter of a dropped dish. Finn quickly ate his meal, eager to begin the day. As he finished the last of his stew, he noticed Rusty Claus standing by the entrance to the main hall, waiting for him. Rusty, the kind and experienced Felinid who had been one of Finn's first friends in Moufford, gave him a warm smile as he approached. "Morning, lad. Sleep well?" Rusty asked, his voice a comforting rumble. Finn nodded, his excitement barely contained. "Yes, sir. I'm ready to meet the group." Rusty chuckled, placing a paw on Finn's shoulder. "Good to hear. Today's a big day for you, Finn. You'll be joining Sleeping Forest. They're a relatively new group, but they've got heart, and that counts for a lot. They've been handling the smaller jobs, the ones the more seasoned adventurers don't bother with. But don't let that fool you. They're eager to prove themselves, and you'll be a great addition to the team." Finn's heart skipped a beat at the mention of Sleeping Forest. While they weren't the most famous or experienced group in the guild, they had a reputation for sticking together and doing whatever it took to get the job done. To think that he would be joining them on his first real quest filled him with both excitement and a touch of nervousness. "Let me introduce you to them," Rusty said, leading Finn across the hall. The guild hall was bustling with activity. Adventurers of all shapes and sizes were preparing for the day ahead, checking their gear, sharing stories, and planning their next quests. The air was thick with the scent of leather and steel, mixed with the faint aroma of the breakfast stew that lingered in the air. Finn's ears twitched as he caught snippets of conversation, talk of distant lands, of battles fought and won, of treasures found and lost. As they made their way through the hall, Finn couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the sheer variety of adventurers in the guild. There were burly warriors with battle-scarred armor, nimble rogues sharpening their daggers, and wise mages discussing the finer points of spellcraft. It was a world unlike any he had ever known, filled with the promise of adventure and the thrill of the unknown. Rusty led Finn to a corner of the hall where 4 Felinids stood talking amongst themselves. They were an impressive group, each one carrying themselves with the confidence and poise of adventurers eager to make their mark. As Finn and Rusty approached, the group turned to face them, their eyes filled with curiosity and friendliness. "Sleeping Forest," Rusty began, gesturing to Finn. "This here is Finn, our newest recruit. Finn, meet your new team." Finn took in the group before him, feeling a mix of awe and nervousness. Thornwhisker, a burly warrior with dark brown fur and sharp amber eyes, stepped forward first. His armor was well worn but meticulously maintained, and the massive spiked club slung across his back spoke of countless battles fought and won. "It's good to meet you, Finn," Thornwhisker said, his voice deep and steady. "I've heard good things about you. We're looking forward to having you with us." "Thank you," Finn replied, feeling a little more at ease under Thornwhisker's calm gaze. Next, Willowshade stepped forward, her soft grey fur and violet eyes giving her an almost ethereal presence. She carried a small satchel filled with herbs and other natural remedies, and a simple wooden staff rested against her shoulder. Finn could sense the quiet strength within her, a deep connection to the natural world that was both calming and reassuring. "Welcome, Finn," she said with a gentle smile. "I sense a strong spirit within you. We have much to learn from each other." Brightpaw, the lean and agile scout of the group, came forward next. His golden fur caught the light, giving him an almost radiant appearance. His green eyes were sharp and alert, constantly scanning their surroundings even as he extended a paw to Finn. He wore light armor that allowed for swift movement, and a finely crafted bow was slung across his back, along with a quiver of arrows. "Hey, Finn," Brightpaw greeted with a bright smile. "I'm Brightpaw, the group's scout. Stick close and I'll make sure we don't get lost. It'll be great to have another pair of eyes with us." Finally, Lyric, a slender Felinid with silvery blue fur and a lute slung across his back, offered Finn a mischievous grin. His bright amber eyes sparkled with humor, and his clothing, a colorful, flamboyant ensemble, jingle-jangled softly with the small bells and charms that adorned it. "Ah, Finn, don't you worry," Lyric said, his voice filled with warmth and humor. "With the Sleeping Forest, every journey's a song waiting to be sung. Stick with us, and we'll have you humming along in no time." Finn couldn't help but smile at Lyric's infectious enthusiasm. The nerves that had been bubbling in his chest began to ease, replaced by a sense of excitement and curiosity. These were his new companions, his new friends, and together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. Rusty Claus smiled at the exchange, clearly pleased with the group's reception of Finn. "Now, before you all head out, there's one last bit of business. Finn, Forge Fluffytail asked to see you before you go. He's got something special for you. Said it'd come in handy on the road." Finn's ears perked up at the mention of Forge. The blacksmith had been a guiding presence since his arrival in Meoford, teaching him the basics of blacksmithing and offering wise advice. "I'll head over right away," Finn said, grateful for the opportunity to see Forge one more time before setting off. Rusty nodded approvingly. "Good lad. The Sleeping Forest will meet you at the town gates when you're ready. Safe travels to you all." With a final nod to his new companions, Finn hurried out of the guild hall, eager to see what Forge had prepared for him. The Pausative blacksmith shop was alive with activity as Finn arrived. The sound of hammering echoed through the air, accompanied by the warm, comforting glow of the forge. The building itself was sturdy and well built, its wooden beams darkened by years of exposure to the elements, but still strong and resilient, much like Forge himself. Forge Fluffytail, his orange fur dusted with soot, was at the entrance speaking with a customer. When he saw Finn approaching, a broad smile spread across his face, revealing the sharp teeth that were the hallmark of his kind. "Finn, just in time," Forge called out, his voice a deep rumble. "Come in, lad. I've got something special for you before you set off." Finn followed Forge into the workshop, the familiar scent of burning coal and hot metal filling the air. The shop was filled with half-finished projects and tools neatly arranged on the walls, a testament to Forge's skill and dedication. On a large workbench near the center of the room, a leather pack rested, and beside it, a small hammer lay on a cloth, its handle wrapped in supple leather and its head etched with intricate runes. "This here is an adventurer's pack," Forge explained, patting the leather bag. "It served me well in the past, and now it's yours. Inside you'll find everything a young adventurer like yourself might need on the road." Finn examined the pack, noting the careful craftsmanship. Inside, he found a self-heating cooking pot, a traveler's map of Felidia, an everlasting torch, a scout's notebook, and a camouflaging cloak. Each item was well worn but meticulously maintained, ready for another journey. "These tools were mine once," Forge continued, his voice softening with nostalgia. "They've seen many miles and countless adventures, but they're not just relics, they're meant to be used, and I trust you'll put them to good use." Finn's gaze shifted to the hammer, its runes glowing softly in the dim light. He picked it up, feeling the weight in his paw. It was heavier than it looked, but perfectly balanced. "What's this?" Finn asked, intrigued. Forge's eyes twinkled with pride. "That, lad, is a magic-infused smithing hammer. It's enchanted to mend armor and weapons without the need for a forge. Just a few strikes in the right places, and you can repair your gear on the go. It's a tool that saved me more times than I can count." Finn's heart swelled with gratitude as he looked up at Forge. "Thank you. I'll take good care of them, I promise." "I know you will," Forge replied, his voice warm. "Now go on. Your friends are waiting, and the road won't wait for you." With the pack secured on his back and the hammer carefully stowed inside, Finn left the blacksmith shop, feeling more prepared for the journey ahead. As he made his way to the town gates, the sun had risen higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. The gates of Malford loomed ahead, marking the transition from the safety of the town to the unknown that lay beyond. As Finn approached, he saw the sleeping forest gathered around a colorful cart piled high with goods. The cart, a patchwork of vibrant fabrics, jingled with trinkets and charms that swayed in the gentle breeze. Standing beside the cart was Cindershine, a plump felinid with smoky grey fur that shimmered like embers in the sunlight. His golden eyes sparkled with warmth and curiosity as he spotted Finn. "Ah, there's our newest adventurer," Cindershine called out, waving a paw. "You're just in time, Finn. We've got a bit of a journey ahead of us." Finn smiled as he approached, feeling the warmth of Cindershine's welcome. "I'm ready," he replied, glancing at the well-equipped cart. "What are we carrying?" Cindershine's grin widened as he patted the side of the cart. "Oh, a bit of everything. Spices from the Whispering Isles, fine fabrics from the Frostbite Mountains, and a few magical trinkets for good measure. We're headed to Mossborough, a small village nestled deep in the evergreen glades. The journey isn't too long, but the path can be tricky, especially for those unfamiliar with the area." Brightpaw, ever the eager scout, perked up at the mention of a challenging path. "Don't worry, Finn," he said with a confident grin. "I'll make sure we stay on course. The evergreen glades can be a bit tricky to navigate, but that's what I'm here for." Thornwhisker nodded, his serious demeanor in contrast to Brightpaw's enthusiasm. "Stick close and keep your eyes open. The road can be unpredictable, but we've faced worse. And with Cindershine guiding us, we should be in good paws." Willowshade, ever the voice of calm and reason, added, "It's a beautiful journey, Finn. The glades are home to some of the most enchanting flora and fauna in Felidia. It's a place where the magic of nature is very much alive. I'll be keeping an eye out for herbs and other natural remedies along the way. You never know what you might find in such a place." Lyric strummed a soft chord on his lute, the notes drifting on the breeze. "And I'll be here to keep our spirits high with a tune or two. Nothing like a bit of music to lighten the load and keep us moving." The group, now fully assembled and ready, set off down the road leading away from Mjolford. The path ahead wound through the lush forests that surrounded the town, the trees standing tall and proud, their branches forming a canopy overhead that dappled the ground in soft shifting light. The air was fresh and cool, carrying the earthy scent of moss and pine, mingling with the distant calls of birds and the rustle of leaves in the breeze. As they walked, each member of the sleeping forest took on their respective roles with practiced ease. Brightpaw moved ahead, his sharp eyes scanning the path for any signs of danger or opportunity. He was in his element, his movements fluid and precise as he darted between the trees, pausing now and then to examine a particularly interesting plant or track. Thornwhisker, ever the protector, stayed close to the cart, his amber eyes alert and watchful. His presence was a comforting reminder of their safety, a steady rock in the ever-shifting landscape of the forest. Willowshade walked beside Finn, her steps light and graceful, as if she were in perfect harmony with the natural world around her. Every so often, she would pause to gather a few herbs or inspect a patch of moss, her knowledge of the forest evident in every motion. Finn found himself drawn to her calm demeanor, the way she seemed to understand the world in ways that were still a mystery to him. Lyric provided a constant stream of music and conversation, his lute adding a lively melody to their journey. He sang songs of distant lands, of heroes and adventures, each one more colorful than the last. His laughter was infectious, and even Thornwhisker found himself smiling at one of Lyric's playful quips. For a time, Finn was content to simply walk and listen, absorbing the sights and sounds of the forest, the feel of the pack on his back, the weight of the hammer in his paw. But as the day wore on, he found his thoughts drifting to Willowshade and the quiet strength she carried with her. It was during one of these moments of reflection that they came across something unexpected, a small, magical creature caught in a hunter's snare. The lunar hare, with its soft, glowing fur, was a rare sight, and its large, luminous eyes were filled with fear as it struggled weakly against the trap that held it. Willowshade was the first to act, her eyes widening in concern as she knelt beside the hare. "Oh, you poor thing," she murmured, her paws moving with practiced skill as she began to free the creature from the snare. "This trap was meant for something much larger. It's a cruel mistake." Finn watched in awe as Willowshade worked, her touch gentle and precise. The hare's fur was impossibly soft beneath his paw as he reached out to help, his heart aching for the fragile creature. "Can it be healed?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. Willowshade nodded, her eyes softening as she examined the wound left by the trap. "Yes, but it will require some magic and care. Finn, would you like to help?" Finn's heart skipped a beat, a mixture of excitement and nervousness coursing through him. "Yes, I'd like that." Willowshade smiled, her expression filled with encouragement. "Good. First, we need to clean the wound and apply this salve. It's a simple mixture of herbs that will soothe the pain and prevent infection." With careful instruction from Willowshade, Finn applied the herbal salve to the hare's wound, feeling a sense of calm and focus settle over him. The world around them seemed to fade away, leaving only the delicate task at hand. "Now," Willowshade continued, "we'll use a bit of healing magic. It's a simple spell, but it requires concentration and a gentle touch. I'll guide you through it." Finn nodded, his paw trembling slightly as Willowshade placed her own over his, guiding him through the motions of the spell. The magic felt warm and familiar, like a soft, comforting light that flowed through him, guided by Willowshade's steady presence. As they worked together, Finn felt a connection forming between them, a shared understanding of the magic they wielded and the life they were trying to save. The hare's breathing grew steadier, its eyes losing some of their fear as the healing magic took hold. "There," Willowshade said, her voice filled with quiet pride. "You did it, Finn. The wound will take time to fully heal, but the danger has passed." Finn looked down at the hare, now resting peacefully in Willowshade's lap, its fur glowing softly in the dim light. A wave of relief and accomplishment washed over him, and he couldn't help but smile. "Thank you, Willowshade," Finn said, his voice full of gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you." Willowshade smiled back, her eyes warm with kindness. "You have a gift, Finn. Your heart is in the right place, and that's the most important part of any healing magic. The rest will come with time and practice." As they gently released the hare back into the forest, Finn felt a sense of contentment settle over him. The journey ahead was still long, and the challenges they would face were unknown. But for the first time, he felt truly prepared to face them. The magic he had learned from Willowshade, the tools he carried from Forge, and the friends who walked beside him, all of it came together to give him the confidence he needed to continue on his path. The rest of the journey passed in a peaceful blur, the road winding through the forest as the sun dipped lower in the sky. The air grew cooler, and the scent of the forest deepened, filling their senses with the rich, earthy smell of moss and pine. Finn found himself growing more comfortable with his new friends, their conversations flowing naturally as they shared stories and laughed together. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor, they finally caught sight of Mossborough in the distance. The village was nestled in a small valley, surrounded by rolling hills and thick ancient trees. The rooftops of the cottages glowed warmly in the fading light, and the scent of herbs and flowers filled the air, carried on the gentle breeze. The road leading down into the village was lined with tall, glowing plants, their leaves shimmering with a soft, golden light. It was a sight unlike anything Finn had ever seen, and he felt a sense of wonder and anticipation welling up inside him. "We're almost there," Cindersheen said, his voice tinged with excitement. "Mossborough, home to the finest herbalists in all of Felidia. I've got a good feeling about this place, my friends. A very good feeling." Finn looked at his companions, their faces lit by the soft glow of the plants, and felt a surge of gratitude for the journey they had shared so far. They were not just traveling companions, they were friends, and together they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they stood at the edge of the village, the warm light of Mossborough welcoming them, Finn knew that this was just the beginning of their adventure. There were still mysteries to unravel, battles to fight, and lessons to learn. But with his newfound confidence, his growing magic, and the support of his friends, he was ready for whatever came next. And so, as the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in a gentle twilight, they took their first steps into Mossborough, ready to embrace the adventures that awaited them in this new and wondrous place. And so, dear listeners, we leave Finn and his companions at the threshold of Mossborough. Their journey has only just begun, and the world of Felidia is vast and full of wonder. As you drift off to sleep, remember that every journey, like every life, is filled with endless possibilities. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with magic and adventure.